Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa. The Ottawa Sport Hall of Fame has their big induction dinner coming up on September 27th. Here to talk about that and, of course, about the 5 fabulous inductees. I'm joined by Dave Best. He's the chair of the Ottawa Sport Hall of Fame. Welcome, Dave. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me on.
When we think sport here in Ottawa, what I love about, this particular induction is that sometimes these names aren't familiar to everybody, and we get to tell their story and find out more about them. Let's talk about, your role. How did you come to be part of the Ottawa Sport Hall of Fame?
I wrote a book on sport history way back when. It's now Canada's #1 cottage doorstop. It's 2,000 moments.
That's not true.
2,000 moments Canadian sport history. Did it in 2000, 2001. It was a millennial project way back when. Teaching at Algonquin for a while there, and a friend of mine was on the board, and he goes, geez, Dave, I called Bestie. Bestie, we need somebody to come on board to talk about sport history. Can you do that? I go, yeah, that's kind of what I do. Why? Just Ottawa. I go, just Ottawa. Okay, is there enough? Of course there's enough. So you find out more and more. So every sport, you mentioned about some sports you might not know. Every sport community, though, they know.
Yeah.
They know, right?
Yeah.
And it's quite humbling in a way. It's great to see.
Yeah, how would you describe, Ottawa and, when it comes to sport? We're becoming a bigger city. We have an NHL franchise, of course. We've got OHL.
We've got the women's franchise coming in town.
I'm so excited about that.
Yeah.
Just had the draft as well, which was, I followed throughout the whole thing. It's exciting times here in this city, isn't it?
It really is. And there's a lot of sports that are doing well in sports. So that's great.
Let's talk about these 5 inductees, okay? Let's start with Carol Ann Chenard. Tell us a little bit about Carol Ann.
Chenard, international speed skater to begin with as an athlete. Then she retires from that. She gets into soccer refereeing. Refereed an Olympic gold medal game back in the late 90s. Did a bunch of international championships, world championships and all that. Got struck with cancer, so had to retire from international refereeing. So she thought she's kind of recovered from that bout. And in Australia, New Zealand, she was just down as a VAR official.
Really?
Yeah. So she goes, am I still eligible? Because I'm not retired officially, but she's retired from on the field.
What's the criteria involved?
Yeah, roughly it's 3 years since retirement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've had one year we called someone up and said, hey, we'd love to induct you. And she got back to me. She goes, I haven't retired yet. I'm just not on the national team anymore, so no one knows that.
Oh, I see.
Okay, we'll come back in a couple of years. And we did.
What's the judging process? Who judges? Or
we have a board. We ask people to send in nominations. Sometimes we might procure a couple ourselves, like asking someone else to nominate. But basically, it's nominations coming in. So if someone's not in, it's because they haven't been nominated, not because we're not selecting them. And then we have a long list, shorter list, short list, and get right down. We try to mix up the sports, male, female, left-handed, right-handed, every combination you can have, and it usually works out well.
Take everything into consideration. Yeah. Next, Murray Costello. Tell us about Murray.
Murray, when I called him up and said, Murray, we'd love to induct you in the Hall, he goes, well, I'm from South Porcupine. Does it still count? But he's lived in Ottawa for 50 years. So we say that counts.
Yeah, I think so.
So he was the head of Canadian Amateur Hockey Association way back in the 70s and 80s, then the beginning of Hockey Canada. 20 years with them, then 14 years with the International Ice Hockey Federation, really putting, the World Championships and national, international championships on the map. And he's from Ottawa.
Nice, I love it. Next up is Tim Higgins.
Everyone should know Tim.
Yes.
Well, Ottawa boy, Westboro boy as well. Played for the 67s with Brian Kilray for a number of years. Gets drafted in the first round. Chicago Blackhawks, plays with them for 10 years. Stellar career. Great career and all that. Then he had challenges after he retired, and he came back to Ottawa. He ran an addiction council service himself and all that.
Right.
And this is a great guy. He was really touched to be to be considered.
You brought a trophy here. I guess this is actually what you'll be handing out to him?
Tim hasn't seen this yet.
Oh, am I allowed to show it?
You're allowed to show it. Yeah.
What have I done? Oh my goodness.
So Tim and this is the same company that does the Oscars.
Really?
This Academy Awards does these trophies. And a while back, we used to hand out portraits of themselves. Well, if you're a jock, you've got a million pictures of yourself, right? You don't need more. You don't need more. And so he said, we got to get something, and not just a trophy, because you've got trophies, you've got medallions. What can we do something different? And a friend of ours came up and said, hey, let's do this glass trophy.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And
There's some weight to it.
There's a little bit of weight to it. Next up is Earl Morris. Tell us about Earl.
Earl, curler. Curling, most people know him now from curling coach.
Okay.
He played as an athlete himself in X number of Briars, I forget how many,
Okay.
3 different provinces. He was the only guy to play 3 different provinces at the Briar, which is the national championship, right? And then he retired, became a full-time coach, and he coaches his son John, who became an Olympic gold medalist, right?
Yeah.
And Rachel Homan.
We just had a shot of him coaching. Rachel up on the screen
and so
there.
It's been great, and he's the inventor of the stabilizer, which I use.
You're kidding?
Yeah, he's the guy.
So that's what I use. I use this. I fell in love with curling back in 2018, and my wife would probably tell you I've become obsessed with it. Like, I record all of them. I curl 3 times a
Great.
week. I love the
Where do you
sport,
curl?
and I know RCMP Curling
Okay.
Club. Yeah.
I mostly see. Yeah.
Oh, are you
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to maybe do a little
play, we'll play.
competition. Yeah, we'll play. Jill Perry. Talk to us about Jill.
Oldest Canadian female boxing champion. She took up boxing late.
Right.
And then I guess she was, to be fit and everything like that, she got quite good at it. She became national champion at 39 or whatever. Now I don't think she runs, but she's the head coach and chief administrator of the Beaver Boxing Club in town.
I know her because she would bring a lot of her fighters to.
Of course she would, yeah.
I would forget the name of the charity event. The Cooper brothers helped put it on for many, many years. Anyway, they brought some of the greatest boxers in the world to come and sort of be the guest speaker. And she was a big part of that, and she did such an amazing job. And I always love talking to Jill. She's just a great person.
She is great.
You've got the dinner coming up, open to the public. People can get tickets.
Yep. Go to ottawasporthall.ca.
Excellent. That is coming up Wednesday, September 27th at the Horticulture Building, by the way, and you can get tickets as well on Eventbrite.
Still there.
When can people start nominating for the next year?
Now.
Really? It's already open?
We normally have COVID kind of got everything helter-skelter there. We normally have it in June, May or June. And so we try to decide by October. So we're in that process right now.
Wonderful. Excellent. Thank you so much again.
For having
Really
us on.
appreciate it. We'll be back with more, and I'll remind you about that dinner at the end of the show. We'll be right back after this.